Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is very exciting for me. I finished school for the summer. That means I have 3 full weeks until I have to go back to school, which also means I get more reading time. And I'm very excited about that because I have not done any reading for about a month and a half, which is very upsetting because I like to read, I enjoy it, and I have not gotten through a single book in a month and a half. So, that being said, what am I doing this week? I'm going to be doing a reading challenge, which they have varying results usually. I've completed a couple. I've also failed miserably a few times, and you never saw those. So I'm going to be taking the iPhone analytics page where they give you screen time, number of pickups per day, and number of notifications per day, and I'm going to be choosing the number of pickups per day. And each pickup that I had last week is going to result in 1 page read this week. So on Monday of last week, I had 168 pickups, and that's not that bad, I don't think. I don't really know how bad is bad for that stat. I know my screen time sucks, but I don't know how many pickups is considered addicted, you know? So today I will be reading 168 pages of a book. And then going on throughout the week, this is the highest day, if not the second highest day. So I think I'll be fine going through this week. I'll have anywhere between 50 and 150 book pages to read a day. So going on throughout the rest of the week, I will have between 50 and 150 pages to read each day. And I am still working, so all of this will either be done audibly at work or once I get home. And I think it'll be a good time. I think it'll be a good challenge. It'll probably take me like 2 to 3 hours a night. Like, it'll be good to just relax, unwind, and exist in my own happy reading realm. So for this week, I have library books that are going to be overdue soon, and I need to get reading them. I picked all of these library books out when I was super excited about them. I grabbed them off the shelves, read the synopses, and loved all of them. And I never read any of them. I've had them for over 2 weeks. I get each book 2 weeks times 3 because I can renew it 3 times automatically. So I've had these for at least 2 weeks already, and I do plan on reading them. Maybe not this go around, but I will check them back out eventually if I don't get to them. However, I do want to try to get at least a couple of them done so I don't feel as bad holding library books from other people. So I'm just going to quickly go through the library books that I have that I could read this week and then pick my first book and start reading. So first I have The Dredge, which is a thriller novel. I'm not 100% sure what goes on in this. I just know that there's a couple brothers and they have left their hometown, but then when they come back, something from the past is brought up and it could be detrimental to them. So I think that sounds super intriguing, and I don't really want to know any more than that because it is a thriller and I don't want to get spoiled on accident. So that one sounds really good. On the same vein of thrillers, I have Pines by Blake Crouch. Now, I picked this up because Ashlyn and Ian Gubelli and Faith is Reading Things love this book. They said it's got amazing twists and turns, and it's just super high energy and high impact. And a man wakes up in a town, has no idea who he is, what his mission is, where he is. All he knows is this town is a little weird. He wakes up, and once he wakes up, he starts exploring and finding things out, and there's a lot of secrets. So I think that sounds really cool too. Then changing it up a little bit, I have a dystopian novel called The Phlebotomist by Chris Panettiere. And basically, your blood type and what your blood is made of determines where you are in society. There are radiated blood people and normal blood people, and you are segregated. And there is something called a blood contractor. This person draws blood from the healthy people to help save the radiated people. And we are following a blood contractor who figures out a few secrets from the government and is starting to question where her loyalties should lie. So I think it'd be really cool to explore that as a book, and it just sounded really interesting to me. Next, I have a silly goofy time called How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. I didn't realize it at the time, but this is blurbed by Matt Dinniman, and I love him. He's the one who wrote Dungeon Crawler Carl, and he's quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. So this one, it's just supposed to be fun, silly, not super serious at all. A girl is trying to be the hero, and every time she tries to be the hero, she ends up dying. So then she's just like, I'm going to become the Dark Lord this time. And I think that sounds very funny, very good. So I'm excited for this one. Next, I have The Neverlist by Jade Presley. So this is a dark fantasy romance, and it revolves around 4 princes who need to find their one true love to save the throne. This girl has never had any interest in it, but sneaks into one of the courting season events, and they all find her and say that she's the one for them. So I don't know what's going to happen, but definitely sounds interesting, and I want to know what's going to happen to this girl. And also, this book is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's got sprayed edges, and the artwork is really cool, so I think that's also part of the reason why I picked it up. And then I've got Enigma by Runix. I have never read a Runix novel. I know she's got Gothicana also, and this book, it sounds intriguing. It is a murder mystery, dark academia, dark romance, where she goes to the school to solve the mystery, somebody's trying to stop her, and she falls for the guy that may just so happen to be trying to hide some secrets. So I think it's going to be good. I think it'll be a fun time, very quick read. So I do know I'm going to get through at least 2, maybe 3 of these books this week, just because of how many pages I have to read. And then also this coming weekend, I plan on doing a 24-hour readathon. So I know I'm going to be getting through at least 2 or 3 of these books. I don't know what I want to start with, though. That's the problem. So I went through them real quick and just kind of flipped through to see what I think I want to read. And I think I want to read Enigma first. I was going to read Pines, but this one just sounds really, really good to me right now. So I am going to start with this one. 168 pages is like chapter 16 or 17. So it's about that much. I will update you when I have an update and when I know a little bit more about this book. And honestly, if I want to go more than the pages that I'm supposed to read, I'm going to. I don't have any issue going over, but I at least want to hit. I do not want to be under any day this week. So that is my job. That's my job this week. I don't have school, so that's my job. So that is the plan right now. I'm going to start with Enigma, and then I will see what I want to read after that. So I will update you in a little bit when I have something to say. So I made it to page 173 last night, which does beat my goal. My goal was 168 pages, and I got 5 extra, which was worth it because it was finishing the chapter. Today I have to read 65 pages, and that will not take me a long time at all. I'm really, really liking the book. Enigma by Runix is very fun, very dark and mysterious. It has a great dark academia atmosphere with the creepy school on the cliff, and it's just really fun. I'm understanding it a lot better than I thought I would, because it's like a dark academia mystery, kind of a thriller vibe, and it's dark romance. So far, what we know is our main character, Salem, she is going to this school, and this school has had 10 kids die in the past however many years, and something makes all of these, or there's only like one thing that all of these kids have in common, and she wants to figure out why they're dying and what's going on, if somebody's killing them off or what's going on. So she goes to this school to get to the bottom of it, and that's about where I'm at. She's still doing a lot of recon and trying to figure out anything she can about the school, about the program that she's in, and about the award that she's trying to win, because everybody who has passed away has won this award. And it's a very prestigious award, but she's trying to figure out why they're all dead. And there's a guy that's the love interest, and his name is Kaz. And Kaz is trying to stop her, kind of. He seems to know a lot more than he's letting on, and she cannot get any information out of him. But there are a few chapters in his point of view that make it seem like he has something to do with it. So that's really where I am right now. And because it's a mystery thriller, I don't really want to say anything else than that, because I have learned like a little few plot points here and there that could get me information to maybe solve the mystery, but I'm still reading. So I've got 65 pages today, and I will update you when that is done. So we're gonna do a quick little honesty hour. I didn't read yesterday, and I had every intention of coming home and sitting and reading and hanging out and doing nothing else. And then our air conditioner went out, so it was like 90 degrees in our house. So my husband and I decided to get out of the house, go get dinner. We went to the mall and walked around for a little while, but it was really hot in here and no part of me wanted to read. I was very tired and hot and just kind of out of it. So we ended up just kind of hanging out and going straight to sleep. However, I am going to try to get those 65 pages done today. I have 132 pages to read today, and I think I'm going to try to read 200. If I read 200, does that make up for it, for me failing? No, but maybe? Maybe? I'm just going to call it. I'm going to say, yep, I'm going to read 200 today, and that'll be that. 65 pages would only take me like an hour anyway, but now I have 200 to read today. I don't know if I'm going to get that done, but we're going to do our best. I'm going to try my hardest to get everything done today, and I will come back when I have an update for the book. I have not read anything since Monday. But I will come back when I have an update with the book and let you know where I got, because that is most of the book that's going to be done, and I'm very excited to finish it off tomorrow. So last night I did get through my 200 pages, which was very good. It took about 2 hours. So I was reading about 100 pages an hour, which is an incredible pace for me. Normally I'm like 60 to 70. And I read 100 pages in an hour, and that was probably because I was on my Kindle. I read a lot quicker on my Kindle. But the book is so good. When I say Enigma is so good, it has all the stuff that I wanted. It has like the dark academia, creepy college on the cliff vibes, and the mystery is so fun, and I'm excited to see how that plays out. And the romance just really started. It was a little more of a slow burn than I expected. They didn't really do anything until 57% into the book, which I appreciated. And now they've got the great tension, the great banter, and it's just been really fun. And I'm going to finish it tonight. I have 181 pages to read today, and I have not started. I'm still at work, but I'm going to finish this book because I have about 100 pages left, and then I'm going to start on my next book, and I haven't picked that yet. I will let you know what I pick when I get there, as well as how much I have to read of it. So I think I'm going to read a little bit on my lunch break right now, and then finish it up when I get home tonight, and that is basically what I plan to do for the rest of my day. So I will keep you updated, and I will be back later. Like I said yesterday, I had 181 pages to read, and that just didn't happen. I read on my lunch break and got about 25-ish pages read, so that brought me down to 156. So that's still a lot. So 156 pages left after that, and then last night I went out to dinner with some friends, and that was kind of all I did. I didn't really read at all last night. And today, my page total is 83. So I'm going to add that to the 156 that I still had, and I have 239. So today I had 83 pages, and I'm going to add that to the 156 that I had, and I'll have 239 pages to read today. However, I did just finish Enigma, and I read 80 pages today. So that brings me down to 153 pages. So now I have to pick a new book to read for 153 pages. And I don't know if I'm going to pick any of the books that I've already shown you. I have some graphic novels that I might pick up. And I know for a fact they're about 150 to 200 pages. So I might just grab a graphic novel and read through that really quick. This was a 4-star read for me. It would have gotten 5 if there was more to the mystery. I think they gave you most of the mystery early on, and then As soon as the couple got together around the 55% mark, it kind of fell into the back burner, and you didn't really get much more of the mystery. And the resolution to that storyline it was just really quick. I think the entire mystery that you were following throughout the whole first half of the book resolved in about 10 pages. It was like one chapter and the mystery was over. You didn't really get any more than that. Other than that, I thought this book was really awesome. I thought it was really fun. I haven't read anything like this before because it was like a dark academia. It had the great spooky vibes and then, the great dark romance aspect of it. I really liked the characters. I really liked Kaz and Salem, and I liked their relationship together and how he brought her out of her shell. And then I really like how she realized that relationships could be more than just a fleeting friendship. And she made, lifelong friendships. She rekindled a relationship with her mother. Like, everything just kind of clicked. But it just didn't give me 5-star vibes, and I know it was because the mystery did not satisfy me in a way that I wanted it to. But the secret societies were really cool. Just like the whole book in itself was very different and very new to me. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. 4 stars seems very fitting for it. I don't think I really want to go much more than that. But it ended well. I do have a gripe with a double epilogue. I do not like double epilogues, and it did that. And it was a really big time jump. So if you have a problem with that, just don't read the epilogues. They were fine. They just info dumped a little bit. But overall, 4-star, liked it, and I need to start reading my other book because I need to read 150 pages. So I might read Pines. I go grab. So I have a couple options. I have Pines by Blake Crouch, and I really want to read this, and I know, I probably could get to chapter 9. I'd probably read a little over half of the book tonight, and I could do that. I think it would take me no time at all to get through this. So this is an option. But I also have, the Dark Tower. Marvel and Stephen King worked together to make graphic novels of other stories, like side stories, to give more of a background to the gunslinger Roland and how he came to be as a gunslinger and got his task to go to the Dark Tower. So I have a couple different options for those, and I think they're probably pretty close to 150 pages. So I said I have 156 left. I might pick whichever one of these is closest to that. I've got The Gunslinger Born, Man in Black, and The Way Station. And you hear about the Man in Black and The Way Station throughout the story. I think it might be fun to read one of these. I don't know. I have these from the library also. That is why they are being considered. But it's either going to be Pines or one of these. Or if I want a Kindle read, I have the Never list on there also. I ended up reading most of Enigma on my Kindle, and I loved it. I think Kindle reading is so much better and so much faster. But the Never list is on there, and I might pick that one up because I did read the first chapter, and I was enjoying it. And the writing style seems pretty easy to understand. I did also read the first chapter of How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. Didn't really vibe with the writing style. Was not having a very good time. And it just wasn't hitting. So I think I'm just going to take that one back and call that a dud. The Never list, I read the first chapter and I liked. And then I also read the first little bit of The Dredge, and it was fine. I don't think I'm going to read that one either, though. That one I could probably get through tonight if I sat down now and started reading. But I don't think I want to read that one. It doesn't sound like it's going to be as intriguing as I had once hoped. When I picked it up at the library, I was like, oh, this sounds really cool. They're dredging out a lake, and these brothers have secrets under the lake, and they need to go home and stop them or figure out a way to get the secrets out. And now that I started the first chapter, I wasn't really enjoying it enough to want to figure out what the secrets are. I also have already vetoed The Phlebotomist because I read the first chapter of that too, and I wasn't enjoying that writing style either. It's a lot of just kind of he did this, she did this person is doing X, Y, and Z, they've got this blood type. And I just wasn't interested. So I'm going to take probably all of those back. Might keep the Never list here, but also might just read it on my Kindle. So I think my best options are Pines or one of the Dark Tower graphic novels. If I don't read Pines tonight, I'll probably read it over the weekend. Or I'll just read it before I take it back to the library. I'm not sure when it has to go back though. Yeah, that's my update. A pretty productive update. I still have 156 pages to read for this challenge. I am calling it today because I do want to do a couple other things this weekend, and I think 5 days is enough. I know I failed. I'm very sad that I failed because I did not read for 2 days out of this week. But I had good reason. I was hot the one day because my air conditioner was off, and I needed to socialize the other day, and I don't socialize much. So I had good reasons, but now I just really need to get my butt into gear and read some books. So I'll update you once I get started on my next book / finish the challenge. So it's time to wrap up this video. I did finish my page count. I ended up reading The Gunslinger Born, which is just a graphic novel. It's part of the Dark Tower series. I had talked about it a little bit, but basically it's the story of Roland and how he became a gunslinger and how his quest for the Dark Tower begins. And I gave it a 3.75 star. It was a good graphic novel. I did enjoy it. And I think it really helps if you've already read the Dark Tower series so that you already understand what's going on, because there is a lot of spoilers if you go straight to this if you want to read the Dark Tower series after. So I would suggest reading the actual series first and then the graphic novels, because they are very fun to go back to and see where the characters started and go back to the beginning of the story. So I read this in one night, and this was 240 pages, and I read Enigma, which was 475 pages. So altogether I read 715 pages, and from Monday to Friday my number of pickups totaled 629. So I did read a lot more than what I was supposed to read. I read almost 100 pages more than I needed to, which I am calling it a success. I know I didn't actually read some of the pages on the days they were supposed to be read, but I did read all the pages, and that's really all I care about right now. So I did it, I was successful, and I'm excited to go on to the next challenge. So that is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. While I read so many pages, I only read 2 books this week, but it was a successful week because I did read this whole thing physically, and I'm counting that an even bigger success because I usually have been doing audiobooks with work and all that. So that is the end of today's video. I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and goodbye.